Welcome to this webinar. This webinar is about the license usage inside tool, in short LUI. My name is Menno Bernhard. I'm an SE for the Citrix Service Providers team. I'm based in the Netherlands, so I'm Dutch. And I'm operating in the Netherlands and the north of Europe, so the whole Nordics. The agenda for this webinar is first, why LUI? Why have you set this service up and why do you have to use this? Then how to set it up, and of course also a demo where I show some functionality. So first, a message is that the old on-premise Citrix usage collector is now retired. That's the old tool you were using on-prem. It's not in use anymore. You can just simply remove it from your servers because now everything has to be reported into LUI. And LUI is a Citrix Cloud-based service. The reason why we've set up this LUI service is because we had a lot of complaints out of the fields that the whole licensing procedure was quite complicated. Also, some of our providers, they need some more insight. So they wanted to know what is going on with my licenses, what is the real usage. It was difficult for CSPs to understand what the actual product usage was, how to count it. The data was not that easy to track. In big countries, which were spread out of other countries as well, those companies, they had issues because they have multiple license points. Some companies, they have internal departments as well, so that makes it also very complicated. The technology was quite complex, and of course, now LUI is also a requirement for the CSP program as well. So if you look at the old Citrix license sequence, the user first went to one of the Citrix portals, mycitrix.com. From there, he acquired the license file, allocated that file, and downloaded that file. And then he uploaded it to the license server. And then the license server is now doing a call home towards sys.citrix.com. That's the LUI Citrix Cloud portal. And now the user can also go to the LUI service and can exactly see what's happening. So in an overview, on the left you've got the sys service running in Citrix Cloud. License servers are reporting to that service. In the back office we've got the allocated licenses, and all comes together within LUI. So you can exactly see the usage, what you've allocated, what is really in use, etc. Another important thing to know is that there is a license delivery change. So what we did in the past is that normally there was a manual process. You had to go to the distri, but we've now changed that. So that this new tool is available within Partner Central. If you go there, you can exactly see what you have, and you can select the license type you want to have, and you can order that. So in this overview, you can see what you have today. And in this tab, you can say, okay, I want to have a NetScaler VPX. I want a quantity of 6. And then you can just confirm the order, and the order will be placed. If you compare that to the old process, you as a CSP, you will join the program, or you already have been joined. The partner submits a zero stocking order to the CSP distri. The distri then went to Citrix. Within Citrix, we processed the order. The order was fulfilled, and then the license was delivered. This process could take 1 to 3 business days. So that was not that flexible. It was taking too long. So with the new process, we skipped a few steps. So what now happens is that the partner joins the CSP program or is already a member. Then you will go to the CSP license retrieval tool. From there, the licenses are instantly delivered. So within 1 business day, you will have your licenses, and you can download them and you can place them on your license server. So in the new process, let's say you want to order 20,000 Xenesa premium licenses. Normally you will get 1,000. So those extra 19,000 they will send to csp@citrix.com for an approval. The person behind that email address will forward that to your account manager. The account manager can either approve or disapprove the additional licenses. Well, in this case, the pump says, well, 19,000 licenses, that's a lot. So I will just approve 2,000 licenses, and then the additional 2,000 licenses are delivered, and you can use them. And that all in one business day. So there was a reason for this change. What we've seen is that a lot of CSP were downloading thousands of licenses, and we're just using, let's say, 1,000 of them. So that's not really in our favor. The second thing and most important thing is that delivery went down from 3 days to 2 minutes. So if you have this issue that the license is expired, you need licenses immediately. We can now deliver that, so that's very good. The order volume is now maximized on 3,000. And also what we see in the markets like Microsoft and other vendors are doing the same. So it puts us in pair with those other vendors as well. Some important notes on this retrieval process is that all the delivery will be one-on-one. So if you order for two licenses for order 2, you will only get those specific licenses for that specific order. So there's a one-on-one connection between that. If you talk about share file, the Workspace Suite or Citrix Cloud, or any product where share file is a part of, the old process is still in place. So you still have to go to the distri for that. You still have to require the $0 purchase order, and then you're good to go. Request for over 1,000 XenApp or XenDesktop licenses, they first will go to the CSP operation team for approval, as shown in the previous slides. And now it comes to LUI. So the first step is, of course, setting up LUI, and I will explain in this part of the webinar how to do that. First step you have to take is to download one of the latest license servers. So you need at least license server 11.14.0.1 because in that specific version the call home function is added. All older license server versions will not support call home, so it will not call home towards LUI. And if you have worries about having an old XenApp version, all license servers are backwards compatible, so you don't have to worry about that. Once you've installed the license server, which is very simple, it's just simple and next finish, then you have to onboard on Citrix Cloud. Please use your myCitrix login. Be sure if you're both CSA and CSP to use your CSP account. Some customers have split accounts, some don't. So if you have, please be aware of that. From that, you will log into Citrix Cloud. The only thing you have to do is you have to click on the Manage button on the license usage inside the service. And then you're good to go. Then you can use the service in Citrix Cloud. And you will start in this overview. And you can see all your license servers. So one of the things we have is license usage. So you can see per license server what is the usage. And in green you have the free users, and in gray you have the total users on that license server, and the green-gray, that's the amount of paid users. So you can exactly see per license server what's going on. So for example, in this license server here, I have 82 paid users, and I have 82 total users. So I only have paid users on this license server. In these license servers over here, I'm doing some trials, or it's a demo server or whatever, or a lab. So I've marked some users as free. So you can see here that I have 13 free users, 76 paid users, makes total 89, right? One of the features we have is the zero cost user management. And that means that per per user, you can either set it up as a free user or a paid user. So you can search within the fields, you can filter in here, and then you can select the user as free. We also have some historical business insights, so you can exactly see within a specific date range, in this example from March 2016 to February 2017, and you can exactly see what's happening within your business. Here it was all flat, and from December it went up and then down again. So it can give you some insight, okay, what's going on within my company? Am I growing or not? Am I declining? Those kind of things. Another thing what we have is NetScaler license allocation. So you can exactly see what licenses you have allocated within the back office. You can see the host ID, which is the MAC address you've registered the NetScaler on. You can see the product name and the serial number and when the license file expires. A very nice feature is customer tagging. You've now got all these license servers and you've got all these customers and users. What you can then do, you can tag a specific user to a specific customer. So then you can see in this example here, I've got CoTag and I've got in total 3 users for CoTag. 2 of them are paid and 1 of them is a free user. So you can simply bill the right customer the right amount of licenses. Then one thing about username security, by default the usernames associated with the XNAPP and XNDesktop license will be sent to Citrix Cloud. If your security officer would not allow this, or your customer don't want this, you can also disable this. So there's in the product documentation, you can find out how to do it. You have to change something in an XML config file, and then all the username will be anonymous, so will not be sent to Citrix Cloud. The only thing, if this is enabled, is see the username at domain. So we don't see any additional personal information, or a person is not identifiable by some kind of data we will send to Citrix Cloud. If you look to the roadmap, in Q2, customer tagging was introduced. Q3, we have NetScaler VPX integration. And towards to Q4 and later, we will have integration with all the cloud offerings, so the XNAPP and XNDesktop Cloud, XN Mobile Cloud, and also ShareFile will be in the product. One example of those new features is the ShareFile usage. So you can select the ShareFile product, and then you can exactly see for a specific customer how many licenses are allocated and how many licenses are provisioned and how many free licenses you have. You only have to pay for the provisioned licenses. Technical note, LUI requires TCP port 443 to sys.citrix.com, and all the internal communications from the license servers use port 27000. Now it's time for the LUI demo. So I've got my demo right here. So once you log into LUI, you can exactly see, you can select the product, right? So you can select XNAPP or XNDesktop, NetScaler or CPSM. ShareFile will be also be here, but that's in the end of Q4 or in the beginning of Q1. You've got an overview of all your license servers. You can exactly see what the health status is of your license server. So the first two, those are reporting properly. Nothing wrong there. The third one is not reporting and has a few messages. So one of the things we see is that this one is not found in the back office. So that means that there is a license server out there. The license server is reporting, but there are not CSP licenses allocated in the back office for this specific license server. So probably there are some CSA concurrent use licenses on that server. If this is the case, try to remove those licenses from that server because you cannot use perpetual licenses anymore, and you cannot mix those with CSP. So make sure you will recover that. It also says that it's not following home the last 3 days. I see that so now and then that customers are blocking a firewall rule or something, and then communication is not possible anymore. On this server, there is a license file, and this license is expiring within 20 days. You can also see it here on top. There's an exclamation mark here. It says, okay, you've got one or more license files on multiple servers, which will expire within 30 days. So this error will be there if it's 30 days or less, right? So you can exactly see, okay, there's something wrong here. The other server, there are also some messages here. You can see again a license file expiration, but this server is also running in concurrent mode for XenApp Advanced and XenApp Enterprise. In the CSP program, it's only allowed to use per active use licenses. So that means user device on your license server and not concurrent use. So if you see this, and that's the case, please reconfigure your farm or your site for per user device licenses. If you've got an older version than XenApp 6.5, then we only supported concurrent use. So then it's not possible. But those older versions are not officially supported anymore within the CSP program. So please be aware of that and fix that if possible. You can also see the fully qualified domain names here for those license servers, the last reporting date. And here you can set if it's either a paid or a free license server. Once you do that, all the users that will use this license server will be marked as free. Okay, so if you've got a lab environment or a demo environment, you can set that one on free, and those licenses will not be counted. If it's a paid server, you have to put it on type paid. So you can simply click on the button here, and then you can change those servers to either free or paid. If you click here on usage, you can exactly see what's happening concerning usage. So you can see all the specific products you have, like the VDI edition, the premium or the base. You can see the total amount of users, the total paid users, the free users, and the amount of licensed servers for that edition, and the amount of customers as well. If you click here on the end, then you can exactly see what's happening based on customers or licensed servers. This one is a little bit clearer. So here I can see, okay, I have got, for premium, I've got 5 license servers. These are the fully qualified domain names. The amount of free users, the amount of paid users, and the total amount of users. And you can do that per product type. And here you can see there's also a customer linked. Right? You can also set a filter here. So you can do that for a certain period. So if you have a discussion with your customer or you want to see some history, you can say, I will want to put this on May, and then you'll get all the data from May. In this specific example, there's no data in May, but you get the point. You can also export this to an Excel file. So if you click here on export, an Excel file will be generated. It's a CSV file, and then you can open it and you can exactly see what's happening. Then if you click on the users tab, here we've got all the users. We can use filters here. So let's say I want to select on a certain, let's say, domain name like @CSP. I can say, okay, I want to filter on @CSP, and then I will get only those users for that specific customer, right? And then I can do a bulk action, and then I can say, okay, I want to select all these users, and I want to set them all as free or as paid. So you can choose here what you want to do. And you can also do this for an individual user. So let's say if you want to mark this specific user as free, you can simply click here and you can put it in free, right? Then we also got a free user list. So here you can also search for those specific users. And you have an overview of all the users which are marked as free. Normally those are demo accounts, or maybe you are running a demo for a specific CSP. Then probably you have the license server marked as free, or maybe admin accounts. And again, you can also export this data to a CSV file as well. Now this is all about the Citrix desktop service. You can also select NetScaler. And this is a new feature that's just recently announced, is that, and also a lot of requested by many CSPs, is that I cannot can only see the MAC address, but I can also see the fully qualified domain name. And this is something a lot of CSP were having issues with, because they were not able to recognize the specific customer for a NetScaler based on the MAC address, but the fully qualified domain name will. And also the call home feature is now also enabled. For that, you have to download the latest firmware for your NetScaler, so please upgrade. And then you can exactly see for this specific NetScaler, it's a VPX 1000. This is the serial number. The license file will expire on this date. It's an active mode, so it could be that you have an HA pair, then you have active passive mode. And it's active, and the deployment mode in this case it's a cluster node, right? And for this specific MAC address, we've got 5 NetScalers. So if you click on that, you can exactly see all the NetScalers which are allocated on that MAC address, right? You can see all the expiration of the license file, and you can exactly see the mode again and the deployment mode. So this is quite new. This is fresh from the press. New feature, reporting based on NetScaler. And last, we also have Cloud Portal Service Manager. So in this specific use case, we've got 2 CPSM servers, both reporting, and I can also see what kind of services were used for those 2 servers in a specific period. So I can filter here on a specific period, the months, and here the year, and then I can see the total amount of units for these services here, the paid amount and the free amount, and the total customers that are running on there. So if I click on here, I can get again some more details. So here I can see my individual customers. I can see the amount of free licenses for that customer and the amount of total users, and here's again the total amount of paid users. You can also click on that specific customer, and then you can see in more detail what's happening. So this is all what you can do with LUI. We've got all the products covered. As said, share file will be in the product as well. Citrix desktop service coming from Citrix Cloud will be there, and also XM Mobile will be added later.